I'm Drew.
I'm Rachel.
That is a fact. What's up? Ooh, why did I say it like that?
I'm a wee bit sick today.
Wee big six.
I don't know. I'm just here. I'm being consistent. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So
Yeah, I was sick. Today I feel good. I felt like total trash for the last probably week and a half.
Yeah, and every time I ask you if you were sick, you're like, "No, I'm not sick. I'm fine. I'm fine." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, then why am I sick?" And then now today you tell me that you actually were sick.
Well, because I feel so good today.
I've been. Yeah, he's like bragging about how great he feels, and I'm like,
I wasn't
happy.
bragging.
Well, I know, but I was like, I'm happy for you. Meanwhile, I look like garbage, and not right now, and maybe 30 minutes ago I did.
Well, we're gonna look a little rough because it's 1,000 degrees in here, but it's all good.
We have AC though, and that is definitely a desired thing right now in our area.
So you want to update them on what? Well, we got hit. I'll just tell you, and should give some details. We got hit with Hurricane Beryl. Direct hit, direct to
the jugular.
Right to our town. So all those projections came right here. Microphone is being weird, but it's cool. We're gonna leave it.
Yeah, because you fidget and you touch stuff. I
have a lot of energy.
Okay.
I'm a very
want you rub some on me, okay?
Spunky person. Okay. You know, you usually have energy.
I haven't had the Lonnie today, so.
No?
Yeah.
Did you drink them all?
I did drink them all.
You did.
Why is the rum gone?
Drew wants to know what Lonnie's. I'm like, well.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, drink them.
Actually, our roommate at our office drank all my freaking Alani's. Thanks a lot, Will. But yeah, we got hit with a hurricane and that was rough. So follow us on Instagram, which I would imagine you do if you're listening to this. You probably found out about this from our Instagram.
If they don't though,
you should follow us.
Give us a follow.
Yeah.
Rachel Page XO.
Yep.
M. Drew Thomas. M as in Megatron, Drew Thomas.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got hit with Hurricane Beryl. We were like, it's crazy because our journey, the anticipation of Hurricane Beryl, right? So we actually were at Disney World with our kids. Our camper is a brand new camper, by the way. We spent $125,000 on at Fun Town RV. Well, guess what? We didn't have a fun time in our camper. So we went to Disney World. Obviously, Disney World being there is great. It's hard to have a bad time in Disney World.
Dude, Disney World was, I think I was sick at that time.
That was your first time going to Disney World, though.
I felt like complete trash. Like, I was just like,
jeez, this is all news to me, guys. I had no idea.
I just don't complain a lot. I'm not a complainer.
Okay, well, I just let you know how it's going as it's going. I don't hold back. So,
well, remember I was talking about how I was so nauseous and like,
yeah.
You know?
So Drew likes to claim that he loves roller coasters. I didn't see him go on a single roller coaster the entire time. Actually, you went on, what was it? It was in the little kid area. What was it? The
little kid did the. I think
it was right next to Dumbo.
I think it was a train. It was a small train.
Literally the whole time he's like, "Oh, I'll go on a roller coaster.
I will.
I'll go on. I'm just not going to go on the one that goes like like this, like no spinny things.
Don't do spinning."
So he had an excuse for every single roller coaster. Didn't go on a single roller coaster yet. We paid for the fast passes for all the days. Meanwhile, how
many roller coasters did you go on?
I went on all kinds of roller coasters.
I don't think you went on a single one.
Well, I went on a lot of 3D experiences because
I did all of them with you.
Chickened out.
No, I did all those ridiculous spinning. I did all the same rides she did, and then I was nauseous. And then they're like, "Let's go ride the Velocicoaster," which I'm down for. Really am. I have done one of those where they pull you up 400 feet in the air, and you pull the ripcord, and they swing you, and something goes wrong. You're for sure dead. Did that?
Bad. Yeah. Well, anyway,
you yawned directly into the mic, just straight into it. No.
There's no editing of these, by the way, if y'all haven't figured it out. So we went to Disney World, right? And it was a great time, despite him.
It's actually not true.
Now claiming a week after our great time that it wasn't so great.
Hold on. I edit it with AI.
No, you don't.
I do. I got AI tools.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. But I'm going to leave that yawn in.
Well, cool. You should. Because it's tired being a freaking entrepreneur. Can I get an amen? So we go to Disney World. The kids were actually great. The kids were great. Nobody was annoying. The baby was great. He was great the whole time. We bought like a bubble machine. We bought, water sprayer. He had a great time. So we went there. We also went to Universal Studios, which was really cool. And, until it rained, but that was really cool. And
24,000 steps a day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got our steps in. That's for sure.
110 degree.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got a nice little tan. So, but yeah, we had a good time. And then, we're trying to leave the campground at Disney Fort Wilderness, and our freaking slides won't go in on our camper. And I'm like, who would have thought that would have happened after this damn thing has been in the shop for like literally 4 out of the 6 weeks that we had it?
I've been working with these guys for weeks trying to get this thing fixed.
Bob is on my shit list. So
they're trying. It's not their fault.
It is. They should have stood behind what they sold us, and they should have just done a switcheroo and figured it out on their end. They should have replaced our camper with one that worked.
Update. I talked to them today. The new panel that they switched out, not the problem. It's not that.
I don't want it back until it's pristine and it works. I don't want to hear from them until it's perfect. So I'm trying to close the slides in. Couldn't do it, right? No electrical stuff's going on. It's flashing lights like it's a freaking strobe light going on in there.
What's going on with your voice?
I'm sick. I'm sorry. I'm here. I'm doing it. And sorry. Yeah. So anyway, we get the camper back. We literally can't leave the campground. And I think it was like 12 o'clock. We're supposed to check out at 11. So we already were like kind of casually running behind, which we're like, it's fine. No one else is checking in until 3. Well, then 12 o'clock rolls around and we're like, okay, everything's ready to go. Everyone's packed up. Everything's fine. Let's close the slides. Slides won't freaking close. Like literally dogs are in the kennel, like everything. And the slides won't close. And so we ended up having to call Funtown RV, which was absolutely no help. And then we ended up getting a mobile RV service to come out, and they worked their butts off for 5 hours, something. Yeah. And they had to manually get the generator going and then close it and the slides, right? So at this point, we're like probably 6 hours behind schedule now, leaving to go home. And we were actually supposed to go on a mission trip 2 days later to Guadalajara, Mexico for the charity organization that we help and support to, which is called Impact Others. So again, if you follow us on Instagram, you see that there was we were actually recognized with an Impact Award a few weeks back when we were in Salt Lake City for this gala. I said it right. I guess if you're around people saying gala, not gala, like I was saying it, you end up saying it correctly, I guess.
I still don't know which one's right.
In Texas, it's gala. But I guess as soon as we leave town, we got to start, we got to
gala.
Yeah, we got to class it up. So anyways, we end up have to cancel our flights, have to cancel our trip. Felt so bad. And I had major FOMO the entire time watching everyone's stories of them being there and helping all these amazing kids and women and everything. But, and then we're just freaking, galloping home in the truck with the camper and the baby and the dogs. And so we made the very long journey home. And every time I kept checking the weather, because the weather started getting crazy as we were driving home.
Yeah.
We're checking the weather. And I literally zoom out on the radar and I'm like, holy shit. And it was like this massive cyclone looking thing. Like literally it looked like it was like 1/4 of an inch from our little dot. Because again, we're driving back from Florida into Texas. So we're going along Louisiana, Mississippi, all that. And I remember the gas station, the very sketchy gas station / casino / hotel.
There is someone in a wheelchair hauling ass through the storm to get to the casino.
So weird. I was like, wow, you have a real gambling problem if you're gonna like wheel yourself like a freaking maniac through a freaking storm to get into a casino. Anyway, wow. Shout out to the people in that weird city. I don't know where we were. I don't know. I just was like, it's dark, it's rainy.
Well, we're 40. We're 40. Like,
we need to leave.
42 feet long.
Drew has gun. Like he had his like fanny pack that had his gun in it. I'm like,
we're as long as an 18-wheeler. So like we have to go to all the truck stops because we don't fit in.
Yeah.
Regular gas stations.
There's some sketchy. Yeah. Any truck stop like after pretty much 10 p.m. like be prepared. You're gonna see some fucking weird stuff. Like weird people. There's a lot of I think we had more teeth than all of them combined, honestly.
A lot of missing teeth.
And it wasn't even the truckers. It was like just people in the area. It was so weird. So we finally make it home. We stopped by Whataburger, got taquitos.
Well, I drove straight through.
I was hungry. I was starving. I hadn't had dinner. He didn't give me lunch.
She was like, let's go to Whataburger.
I never go to Whataburger. I never go because, I mean, number one, like we eat really clean, and I pretty much just eat Kava, Flower Child, and True Food Kitchen, and an occasional poke bowl. That's it. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I gotta eat. Like I need to. And the baby was hungry too. So we stopped at 2 a.m. at Whataburger, and we got taquitos, like, you know, all the other, like how I used to in high school days, like my drunk days. Like you would find me in the Whataburger park. Or, that's right. That's where it was at.
That's where it all started.
Yeah. So
that's where the dream was born.
I guess. So we did that. We finally made it home. And then it was less than 24 hours later. You know, we're trying to get our life together, trying to get groceries, trying to get water, trying to make sure our kids are landing safely with my mom. I think they landed just a couple hours before the weather started getting really bad, and they started canceling flights. So we actually we had our kids fly home with my mom, because I was like, I am not dealing with 3 extra bladders in the truck all the way home. No thanks.
No. It took a long time just pulling the thing, and we had the dogs, we had the kids, we had the baby. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, challenging. There was a couple moments where we didn't want to talk to each other. You know, if you're married and you've been on a road trip together, you know what we're talking about. Like, yeah. We just needed a minute, but we got lots of work done. Drew, we were listening to podcast after podcast after podcast. Some nerdy stuff too. Like we were listening to Terrence Howard.
I didn't know if you were with me on that.
I heard the whole thing.
You did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how I like to get down.
Sure did. With
secret nerd.
Was it Terrence Howard? Is his last name Howard?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with Joe Rogan and some other guy.
Eric Weinstein.
Yeah. So anyway, it was this like weird rabbit hole that I had to go down with him, because it was on the speakers.
I prepared you too. I'm like, buckle up. This is gonna get weird.
No, I did think it was cool that Terrence was like super receptive of the other guy, whatever his name is.
He's been really nice too.
No, he was super.
It was great.
Like receptive to him, guiding him and coaching him through the things that he thought he knew that he didn't know, and I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, and Joe Rogan was like,
he's pretty quiet the whole time. He's above his head.
He's hilarious, because he's like, I'm just not, you know, he's just facilitating the conversation, but
he's just like kind of helping it get along, like move along.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the hurricane hit. The kids were home. We were, you know, bracing for the hurricane, and literally we all heard this huge like crack, like, you know.
Did y'all hear that inside?
Yes, I heard it inside. And I had this like sick feeling in my stomach, and I was like, I need to go outside to the warehouse. So we live on 3 acres. So we have like our house, we have like a little, it's technically like a mother-in-law quarter, except Darby lives there, my sister. And then we have a warehouse, which is like about probably that portion, like 2,500 square feet or so. And then we have like a little sliver that we like carved out for a gym. And then we've got this podcast studio and our sauna. And then we have this like little shitty shed 2 doors over.
Carries like ant poison and stuff.
Yeah. We poison our ants. Ha.
That stuff.
So anyway, sorry, I just don't want my kids getting bit, or my dogs. So.
What about your husband?
Not you. Oh, yeah, you too. Yeah. But you always wear shoes. They don't. So the tree fell. And I will say, if the tree had to fall there, it fell in the best possible spot. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Like it sucks the fact that it fell in the first place, but if it had to fall, it literally fell in the absolute best spot.
It's a 100-foot oak.
Huge tree. Massive. Completely unrooted itself and just bam. And then there was another tree that we discovered later that we couldn't even see because the tree was so huge on the roof.
Lee Bull.
Oh yeah, our neighbor.
83.
We'll get to him. Let's walk them through the actual damage and what was happening when we opened the door to the warehouse.
The warehouse is where we work. We work a lot. We have a lot of the hair products coming from the warehouse. So this is a very integral part of our operations.
Very expensive room.
We got cameras. It's AC'd, like it's secured. It's where all of our product is shipped from. Right. So we protect it very much so.
We got cameras, we got alarms, and everything.
100-foot oak hit that.
Yeah.
So
cool.
during the storm, there we are, crack, 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 boom. You just hear this huge movement, and you could feel. I was outside, I could feel it, the energy of this tree. Just something big has happened, and it was. I grabbed the kids because I didn't know. I didn't know what was coming down because it was just something big was happening, And we heard bam, we heard a thud, but it wasn't like it didn't. The tree didn't fall that long before it hit a thud. So I don't know. We ran back there, saw it. And this is middle of the storm, water's coming in, and Rachel's talking about that's going to collapse. And like I said, I don't think it's going to collapse.
Wait,
it's
you
not
missed
that
a
much.
couple things.
Back up. But we had to take during the storm, during the hurricane, we were going to the room, pulling all product out, covering the product. Nothing got wet.
Not a drop.
Because I was covering it with my jujitsu gis.
No, we had big plastic bins that have like the big ones at Costco. Thankfully, we had those, so we were just like everything like
those were covered, and then the gi was over that.
Yes.
I carried like 7.
So many like huge totes, and then the next thing, which was honestly like. I mean, I was important, but not nearly as expensive and as important as.
We straighten your mic a little bit.
What?
It's all cattywampus.
I like it.
There you go.
Thanks. So anyway, the Salon boutique inventory, it was like, obviously, yes, it's inventory. Yes, it has value, but not nearly as much value as all of our hair extensions. And I was just like, not today. Like, this is not happening. And so like, I remember I walk in the door, I see like even through the glass, like walking into the double doors, I see water on the floor. And I immediately was like, no freaking way is this happening right now. Like we literally, like we were thriving. Like this is not happening. And so I open the door and everything's wet and it's freaking raining through our can lights. And I literally just start beating on the door that separated, the wall that separated Darby's little guest house and the warehouse. I'm beating on the wall, and Darby ends up running, and she's like, no. And so it was like, and then here comes Drew with a camera. Like, and I'm like, and he's like, hold on. Obviously he's helping, but he also wanted to grab content, which I guess is important too.
Yeah, we'll show you.
We'll freaking show you. Yeah.
I snagged the GoPro, and it's like, I need to capture
it was like literally, so everything I could give 2 shits about what happened on the right side. Thankfully the tree fell on top of the roof. That right underneath is like our refrigerator, our coffee bar, our where our printer is, like all of our like appliances and stuff. For like, we have like this big, like nice, like, I don't know, like snack beverage bar in the warehouse. And then we have all these really nice white cabinets that have all of the Salon boutique inventory, like all thankfully in clear bags with sizes on them. And then we had all of our merch. So the other side of the room is where all the hair is. Thank God that the hair was on that side, because had it not been, it would have been
real bad. But
real bad.
That happened, got it out, and now we're dealing with the reconstruction of the whole room. We don't need to get into all that, but
yeah,
that's
tell them about our neighbor, Lee Bull.
So Lee is my neighbor. He's 82. He's there. He's sharp. Like, he's not. You can have a great conversation with him. He's all there and physically active, and he's a very big guy and has a very strong personality. He's like, they call me the Bull. It's like, I'm not going to call you that. I'm going to call you Lee, Mr. Lee.
He's so bored. He's retired.
But yeah, he got nothing going on over there. So he used to build homes. So he is jumping to help, but he wants to help, So
sweet.
And he's a nice guy. He really genuinely just wants to come over and hang out and chat. He's lonely. And so he just, I see him shuffling around our backyard in the morning, trying like kind of sort of, he's not really project managing the thing. I am, but
and then his dog's in our pool.
Jack is also very old. Jack is a 13-year-old.
And we wake up and there's this man and a dog in our
Jack
pool.
Jack and Lee just in our backyard.
Yeah.
So he did get some guys over here to get the tree out, though. He did handle that, but now it's getting a little more complex with insurance and all that stuff. So
yeah, thankfully insurance that's coming in handy for sure.
Yes.
Sucked having to pull our deductible out of our but
Still
it's fine
doing that. Yeah.
And I'm glad that we were able I'm glad we have insurance. I'm glad the tree landed on the opposite side of the most expensive inventory.
No one's hurt.
No one's hurt. Yep. And, we have power again, and one of our salons, I mean, talked about the salons. One of our salons lost power, right? So we were shut down for a couple days. And thankfully, our newest location, that's about 2 years old, that's in Conroe, which is about 10 miles north of the Woodlands, Houston location, they did not lose power. So we actually started allowing local stylists and barbers and even a med spa tech to come over and work because their places were shut down. So we were one of the only salon that I knew that actually had power in that entire 20-something mile radius. And so we opened it up to allow people to come in and work and, just pay like a cheap day rate just to cover some of our expenses, them being there and work. And it was really cool because we got to meet some cool people. We were able to help them help their clients and help them make some money, when a lot of people aren't making money. So
so it was wild and crazy. Week and a half, a couple weeks. And then Disney World is just hard on its own with 4 kids. We were arguing because of our freaking wagon we got. I drove off somehow. So there's a recall. I have a 2024 GMC black truck. It's a 3500. It's a full-ton truck. I love my truck. It really is functional for our family and things that we do. The tailgate has a button. And I thought I've been hitting this button, but it has a recall. I think it's half and half. Okay. It dropped down the other day again too. I didn't hit the button, but there is a known recall that tailgate drops by itself. Right. So I don't know if it was me. I like when things are my fault and I'm dumb because like
I 100,000% thought it was your fault in the moment.
No, but like if it's me,
I was like, I'm just gonna go.
Here's my thought on it. And like, no ego in this is because if it's dumb and I'm like, it was me, I can fix that easy. So I was hoping the RV and things like that was like, oh, I'm just an idiot and I don't know how to work it because I can just learn how to work it. But if it's an electrical thing that's not me and that's just way more complex. So I was hoping it was just me and I was like, oh, I hit the button. It's kind of a combination of the two because either way, tailgate fell out while we were driving in Florida and our $1,000 stroller that we brought to Disney World fell out into the abyss.
Who knows? So whoever got smacked with our stroller, I'm so sorry.
Hopefully no one.
I was so upset because I was just like, no. Like I got out of the truck because we actually were going to visit Aaron Mills, one of our friends that owns 2 salons in Orlando. And I was like, I can't be in Orlando and not go visit Aaron. I haven't seen her in forever. And so we booked blowouts for my mom, Kenzie, and I to go over there. Also because we didn't have hot water in the camper. So we go over there and we're getting blowouts. So I get out of the truck and I look and I'm like, why is the bed of the truck open? And I look at Drew and I'm like, where's the stroller? And like, we didn't even speak, like, because this isn't the first time this has happened. Like, not with the stroller, but
the first catastrophe that we've
So I just like looked at him and I was just like, I'm going to go why don't you go to Target and figure it out, So it's just like, this is just like real life shit that happens. And like, the more people you have in your family, the more chances you have for chaos. So, we had a baby that was on his last diaper because there are no stores around Disney, no stores. And there were no diapers at the general store that was on our campground. So, and then we discovered that the diapers we thought we had, we didn't. So Hendrix was on his last diaper and he just so happened to leave a massive surprise and on the way to the salon to get our blowouts. And so it was already stressful and it smelled. And then the freaking stroller situation, I was like, I'm fucking leaving. I'm going to go get my hair washed and get a treatment. Tiger it. Like, I'm done here. And Drew handled it. He went to Target. He had Hendrix. He was disgusting. He had to go deal with that. He had to go find a stroller wagon and all the things. So, yeah.
Handled it.
Yeah. You just got to handle stuff that happens because, and in those moments, like when like such as me in the moment thinking that Drew hit the button like he had done before, and then later finding out about the recalls, like, okay, maybe it wasn't Drew.
Which is what I was saying the whole time. Like, maybe it wasn't me.
Well,
perhaps.
I was like, who else would hit the button?
Yeah.
So anyway, sometimes you just have to like look at your spouse or whoever it is that you're, it's like, do we want to engage in that? No. Okay. Like we're just gonna, I'll see you later. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of what happens sometimes because it's hard, you're trying to, be a great spouse. You're trying to get your kids where they need to go. You're trying to go drop your wife off to get a blowout, like so she could feel happier and prettier. Therefore, she's happier,
while trying to maintain this piece of shit RV and get everyone.
Yeah, like, and then obviously we had no idea that we were going to have the whole tree thing happen a few days later. But, there's just stuff that happens. There's obstacles. So the reason that we're doing this, we're sharing this with you guys is not to bitch and moan about our week. Like there's obviously people out in the world that are having much worse moments in time than us. But is to show you that like you just have to bob and weave with whatever's going on. Like, have your moment, but don't let it ruin your entire freaking day, and there's going to be all kinds of things that are going to inconvenience you and stress you out and make you want to rip your extensions out. And I mean, but in that moment, like with the whole stroller situation or like with whatever was going on with the camper, it was just like, do we like it's not his fault. It's not my fault. Like we don't need to, get into it. Let's just figure it out, and
solutions.
Solution-based thinking and acting. What is happening out there?
It is Grand Central Station at our house.
Oh, they're drilling, aren't they?
They're probably fixing the roof.
Sounds like
they're cutting off
out there.
They're cutting off. It's okay. It won't be that loud. It'll come through.
Oh my God.
But I can.
It's real bad.
I can get rid of it.
Okay, cool.
If it's bad, I can actually get rid of the AC too. Potentially, but
that'd be nice. It's hot in here.
It's toasty. It'll feel like a burnt biscuit.
Well, anyway, I hope you guys are having a better week than us, and just wanted to kind of talk about just challenges and things and how to overcome them, and just you're gonna have some shit weeks. Hopefully, they don't last too long. You're gonna have some shit weeks, and you're gonna have some incredible weeks. And I think if your great weeks outweigh your shit weeks, you're doing way better than most.